You know something I don't see in the Army anymore? Motor pool guards. At least on Fort Carson, right? Because I work on Fort Carson, and that was the last duty station I actually had too, was on Fort Carson. But I don't see motor pool guards anymore. That was the thing that I remember we had to do, where you'd have to rotate and it'd be just during normal hours. It wasn't like CQ or staff duty where it was 24 hours. It was usually, typically at like 08 to 1700 or something along those lines, right? And you'd have maybe you and maybe one other person, and you had to sit in a little guard shack that was right at the front gate of the motor pool. And the main purpose of that, really, of what you were doing, was vehicles that came out of the motor pool, you had to check their dispatch because you had to make sure that they were allowed to leave the motor pool. So prior to that vehicle leaving the motor pool, somebody on the vehicle would have to probably jump out and show the guard that the vehicle is currently dispatched, which means it has the piece of paper that's signed off by the commander, and the maintenance has done its checks on the vehicle, and everything was good to go, and everything. I think they even would check your license too. They would even have to make sure that you're licensed on that vehicle too. So you'd have those guards that would check the dispatch and check the license sometimes too of the driver. But I have been past many motor pools here in Fort Carson. I've been inside of a few motor pools too for certain kind of things that I've had to do as well. And I usually don't see any guards. The guard shacks are still there. It's like they didn't get rid of the guard shacks. Maybe they use them for something else. I don't know. But there's no guards. No guards, especially when I see vehicles like leaving the motor pool. There's no truck stopping before they leave the motor pool to show somebody the dispatch. They just drive out and leave and go do what they got to do. So that's the thing that I've noticed. If there's anybody that like maybe is at a different installation other than Fort Carson, right? And you still have motor pool guards, let me know. If you are somewhere else or even on Fort Carson or whatever, and you don't have motor pool guards, let me know as well. Because I want to hear your thoughts. People that are currently in the Army, do you guys still have motor pool guards, or did they get rid of that? Do they not do motor pool guards that check dispatches?